So in the previous class, we have started with the BJT, the new topic that is BJT. So we will just have a recap, like what was there discussed in the previous class. So BJT is one of the semiconductor device that we will be going to use for different applications. So before going to have BJT for different applications, we will see what is basically this BJT is and how it works basically. Okay, so BJT is bipolar junction transistor. So bipolar junction transistor means if it is bipolar, that means it is having two different type of charge carriers, that is hole and electrons. So hole and electrons both will be contributing the current flow. Okay, and this BJT is considered to be like constructed by you by joining two different PN junction diodes. So PN junction diode we have already gone through. So once a PN junction diode is there and we are connecting one PN junction diode with inverted PN junction diode. So once we are going to convert uh, two different PN junction diode to a transistor, it will like we are just going to connect these two. So N side will be connected. So once we will be connecting here P side and P side will be outside. So it will be like three layer device. So P layer, N layer and P layer. So it is P and P. Similarly, if we reverse it and once we will be combining, then it will be NPN. So basically this BJT will be of two type, that is PNP transistor and NPN transistor. Okay, so as the three different layers are there, okay, so these three different layers are the three different terminals basically of the BJT. Okay, so three different terminals are, so one terminal is called emitter. The common in between these two, like that is sandwiched between this P type of regions, that is N type. So that N type region will be considered as your base region. Okay, so this is base region or base terminal. So three different layers are there, but it is a three terminal device. So three different terminals are emitter, base and collector. Okay, so similar, this is PNP, and similar to that there will be NPN. So in NPN also it will be having emitter, the middle one that is sandwiched, that will be considered as base. This terminal will be considered as the collector. So these three terminals have these three terminals like emitter, base and collector. Its name is emitter, base and collector. So based on its name, it is having like different roles for transistor operation. Also, once we are going to fabricate a transistor, it is fabricated such that emitter is made to have high doping. Okay, and the collector is made to have moderate doping, and the base, that is the base region is there, this will be very low doping. Okay, so low doping will be there. So why it is made low? Because once low doping is there, that means low or less number of charge carriers will be available here. So if doping is high, this means high number of charge carriers will be there. So the emitter is like it needs to emit the charge carriers. Okay, so whatever charge carriers it will be emitting, that charge carriers will be the part of current flow. So as emitter is able to transmit large number of charge carriers, or it will be emitting large number of charge carriers, then the current can be large based on the doping of the emitter. So that's why emitter is made highly doping, and base is made lowest doping, because if base is also having higher doping, then whatever majority charge carriers moving from here to base, that will go and combine with the available charge carriers with this base region. Once it will be combining, so the less number of charge carriers will be available to transmit here. Okay, so our motive is whatever charge carriers are emitted by this emitter terminal should be moving to collector terminal, and the collector terminal should be such that whatever charge carriers have moved from emitter to collector, that should be the part of current flow. Okay, but if base is highly doped, most of the charge carriers will be combined here, so less number of charge carriers will be there that will be transmitting to the collector region. That's why this base region is made low, or low, uh, having a smaller doping, because less number of charge carriers will be there. So the combination, that is the recombination, will be taking place, that will be very less. So with less recombination, most of the charge carriers available will be moving to collector side. So the most of the charge carriers will, from the emitter, will be moving to collector. So that will be the part of current flow. So that's why this base is made low or lightly doped. And also in the case of SAPE, here the collector region is having highest width. So this highest width is because it needs to collect large number of charge carriers, so that we have a higher output current, that is collector current. So that's why collector region is made higher width. And similarly, uh, the emitter region is smaller than the uh, collector region width, and the base is made lowest among all, so that it should be having like less recombination or less number of charge carriers will be available, so that it will be constituting less current. Okay, so base uh, current should be as low as possible. If base current is 0, that will be like an ideal case. So in ideal case, base current is considered to be a 0. So that's why we are minimizing the base current by doping lightly doped, and also by reducing the width of base region. Okay, so that is like given here. Doping, highest doping will be emitter, then collector, and then base region. And in terms of width, the collector will be having the highest width, and then emitter, and then the base region. Okay, so that was the construction. Now this is the symbol. Basically this is the symbol of PNP transistor and NPN transistor. So one mistake is there. Okay, so this is the symbol basically. So here emitter terminal is there, collector terminal is there, and the base terminal is there. So this symbol you can just identify by the arrow direction. Okay, like this is NPN. Okay, so we can just consider this region. So this base to emitter, or we can call it, this is the region. So here this is, suppose this is P, N, and P. So here this is P and N. So the current direction will be from P to N. So always the input region is considered to be forward bias. And in this we can see into the mode of operation. And in this output region is reverse bias. So if input region is forward bias, then this region will be forward bias. So current will be flowing from P to N side. So once current is flowing from P to N side, then the current direction will be this. So once the symbol is given, you can just identify either it is NPN or PNP transistor. Okay, so this is the symbol of PNP transistor. Similarly in NPN case, so it is like, this is the symbol, current is flowing from this terminal to this terminal. That means this terminal should be of P type. So this is P and this is N, that means this will be N. So NPN. Okay, so this is the symbol of BJT. Next we will see what are the different mode of operation. So in BJT there are 4 different mode of operation. This mode of operation is based on the biasing, like what is the biasing provided to different terminals of this BJT. We will be considering 4 different mode of operation. The first one is like cutoff region or cutoff operation, cutoff mode we can call it. We call it cutoff mode, saturation mode, active mode, and reverse active mode. So this has been summarized uh, into this table. So here, based on the junction, so there are, this is the BJT. Here, 2 different junctions are there. So one is PN, between P and N regions will be separated by this junction. This is called JE. So JE is, it is because it is on emitter side, so it is JE, that is called emitter junction. and N and P, in between that there is a junction. Okay, so this junction is considered as collector junction. So based on the biasing of these two junctions, we will be identifying in what particular mode this BJT is working. Okay, so if it is JE and JC, with respect to that we will be deciding the mode of operation. So if emitter junction is forward bias and collector junction is reverse bias, so this is considered to be an active mode. So in active mode, the amplifier is the application of BJT. That means if BJT is working in active mode, it will be used as an amplifier. Okay, so if emitter junction is reverse bias and collector junction is also reverse bias, then it will be considered as a cutoff mode. So in cutoff mode, basically that will be like cutoff means there will be it will be behaving like an open circuit. So it will be behaving an open circuit. That means it will be like off switch. Okay, so in that cutoff region, it will be behaving like a switching application. Okay, in the next case, if it is emitter junction, it is forward bias and collector junction is also forward bias. So in that case, both are forward bias means consider the case of a diode. So if diode is forward bias, that means it will be a short circuit. Okay, so if there are two different diodes and both diodes are short circuit, that means the complete BJT will be short circuit, behaving like a short circuit. That means it will be an on switch. So in saturation, the BJT will be working in on switch. So most frequently question that is asked is like, if BJT is going to work as a switch, then in what particular mode it should be operating? So the answer will be the cutoff as well as the saturation. So if BJT needs to be operating as a switch, then the BJT should be working in cutoff as well as the saturation. If the BJT needs to be working as an amplifier, then it should be operating in active region. Okay, so here this is the application as a switch, here application as an amplifier. This is the basic question most frequently asked in uh, objective type questions. And in reverse active mode, so the fourth mode is like the opposite to this active mode. So this is opposite to active mode. So here it is forward bias, it is reverse bias, emitter junction. Collector junction, that is reverse bias, it will be a forward bias. So this will be just reverse of the active mode. That's why it is called reverse active mode. So it is reverse active mode. So in reverse active mode, basically we are it seems like we have just uh, inverted this BJT. So this is the case like here we have considered this as a collector and this is the base and this is the emitter. We have just inverted the transistor and then we have made it forward bias and made it reverse bias. So in active one, this was the emitter and this was the collector. This region was forward bias and this was the reverse bias. But we have inverted this transistor and then we have provided forward bias and reverse bias. So in that case, basically here we find the it is similar to like this one also. It will be having transistor operation. It will be having like a transistor, but in this case, the current gain. So one of the parameter that we find in case of BJT working in what particular mode, based on that we will be finding the current gain. Okay, so current gain in case of reverse active mode is very less, or current gain is very less, even less than 1. Okay, so current gain is considered to be very less or less than 1. That's why this region, if it is less than, current gain is less than 1 means, suppose we are providing 5 ampere here So gain is less than 1 means we will be getting lesser current. That means less than 5 ampere we will be obtaining here. So it is like it is uh, uh, it is performing the operation like it is going to reduce the strength. Whatever input we are providing, it is going to reduce. That means it is behaving like an attenuator, or it is providing attenuation. So in this case here the gain is either current gain is, in case of active mode, current gain is considered to be 1 or greater than 1. Okay, so then it can be worked as amplifier. Okay, but here it is the gain is less than 1, so it is providing an attenuation, so it cannot be used for any applications. Okay, that's why this mode, reverse active mode, is avoided. Basically it is avoided in case of BJT. Okay, so we will just go with uh, the case like if it is active mode, what should be the configuration? Suppose this is an NPN transistor. Okay, so in active mode it will be forward bias. Okay, so to forward bias this NP region, we have to bias here negative and this is positive. This is how we will be biasing. So in active mode, the N region should be forward bias. So N region will be connected to a negative terminal. This P region should be connected to positive region. So this is forward bias. Similarly, in this case here, this should be reverse bias. So N region should be connected to positive, then it will be a reverse bias. Okay. So this is reverse bias. So this is the case of active mode. So here emitter junction is forward bias, collector junction is reverse bias, and it will be behaving like an amplifier. And also once it is behaving like an amplifier, we call it like it is having the transistor action is going to take place in case of active mode. So here transistor action takes place, we can call it. So what does it mean? So here basically we will be having current gain. We can just write current gain is 1, and also, and this current gain is supposed to be given by alpha, then alpha is 1, and your IC output current will be alpha times IE. Okay, ideally this alpha is 1. Okay, practically it will be slightly less than 1, that is it is around 0.998 or 0.98 value. This alpha is there. So this is like we are having alpha is equals to 1 in that case. Okay, if it is an ideal one. So this is the active mode. In the case of cutoff mode, so in cutoff mode the biasing will be this is NPN. So we need to bias it in reverse bias. So all the input side and output side both will be biased in reverse bias. So we need to bias as reverse bias means we need to provide this as the biasing. Here it will be positive and this is negative, and this case also this should also be a reverse bias. Okay, so both the junctions are reverse bias. So when both the junctions are reverse bias, in that case, when a diode is reverse bias, I've considered only this diode. So if this diode is reverse bias means it will be behaving like an open circuit, and this diode is also reverse bias, that means it will be behaving like an open circuit. So overall we can just say, so its equivalent circuit we can just write is like it will be behaving like an open circuit. Okay, so here it will be behaving like an open circuit if it is operating in cutoff mode. So in cutoff mode it is open circuit, it will be behaving like an off switch, or it is considered as like zero state. It is considered as a zero state. Next is third case, that is saturation. So in saturation we are having the transistor and both the junctions are forward bias. So this is like, suppose this is NPN, so both are forward bias means we need to connect it in reverse mode, like this N should be connected to negative side and P should be connected to positive side, and this is also forward bias, so it needs to be connected to a negative terminal and this should be positive terminal. Okay, so here both are in forward bias. So if both are in forward bias, then its equivalent circuit we can just write is, if it is forward bias, a diode is forward bias, that means it will be behaving like a short circuit. Again, this diode is also forward bias, so it will be behaving like a short circuit. So if it is short circuit means we need to represent this as, okay, so this is the case of short circuit. So if it is short circuit, there will be a current flowing through this, and that current will be the maximum current flowing through this. Okay, it will be behaving like a short circuit. So if it is short circuit, it will be like an on switch. It is an on switch, or it is considered to be an one state, like zero state and one state. It will be one state. And the last one is the reverse saturation. Sorry, reverse active. So in reverse active, the this one should be reverse bias, and this one should be forward bias. Okay, if this is the case, there will be transistor action taking place. Okay, but the alpha, or you can call it like the current gain, will be less than very less than 1, we can call it. Okay, so there will be a very less current gain. So if it is having very less current gain, it is of no use. So that's why this mode is basically avoided in case of BJT. Okay, so the basic mode of operation that we will be most frequently using is as transistor working as an amplifier. So that means the transistor is working as an amplifier. So in that case, the transistor will be behaving in or operating in active mode. Okay, so we will just see like how the active mode operation of uh, transistor is going to take place, or we will just break this uh, transistor operation into different modes, like it is having two diodes connected, so we will be operating it separately. Like one diode is operating, another one is off, then first one is off and second one is operating. So based on that, we will just see the transistor operation, like how the transistor is going to operate. So we will see that what is transistor operation is there. So here, this is the PNP transistor. If we need to find out the transistor operation, we need to bias it in active region. So it is this region, input side should be biased in forward region or forward bias, and this would be reverse bias. This is the case of PNP transistor. Similarly, NPN transistor, it will be like this is forward bias and this is reverse bias. Okay. So to have this transistor operation, we need to bias the transistor in active region. So if we need to bias in active region, that means the emitter junction should be forward bias and the collector junction should be reverse bias. Okay. So here, in case of forward bias, so we have just separated, like this is the configuration, in that if the first diode is forward bias and another one is a reverse bias, so we have just considered the analysis of one diode at a time, because BJT is made up of two different diodes connected back to back. So one diode, we are operating one diode. So this one is forward bias, this region is forward bias, so we have considered the forward bias region and the reverse bias region. So in case of forward bias, if diode is forward bias, whatever depletion region is there, it will be having minimum depletion region. Depletion region will be minimum. Okay. And also, whatever, if it is forward bias, whatever current will be flowing, that current will be because of the majority carriers. Okay. So in forward bias, the depletion will be minimum. Okay. And right, in forward bias, depletion region will reduce. Okay. So depletion will reduce. So once the depletion will reduce, high current will be flowing. Okay. So if depletion is less, in case of the diode is forward bias, depletion is less, the current will be high. And once this current is high, so this current flow will be because of the majority charge carriers. So in forward bias region, majority charge carriers constitute the current flow. So here the majority carriers will be, in case of here, this is, suppose this is P region. So this is P region, so holes will be here in majority. So this majority holes will be moving to N region, and that will be constituting the current flow. So this is the case of forward bias. Similarly, in case of reverse bias, okay. So in reverse bias, we can see in terms of depletion region, it is high. Okay. So depletion region has increased. So depletion region width is going to increase in case of reverse bias. So we can note it down. So depletion region width will increase. In that case, there will be no current flow because of the majority carriers will not be able to cross this junction, because in case of reverse bias, there is a high depletion region. This high depletion region will be constituting high barrier potential. So here the potential or the barrier potential will be high. So depletion region is high means a large number of immobile charge carriers have been collected here. So that will be constituting high uh, barrier potential. So majority carriers will not be able to cross this barrier potential. So because of the majority carriers, there will be no current. But the minority carriers can easily pass this barrier level, because this is positive. So in this n region, holes are minority. So this holes will be repelled by this positive. So because of this applied potential, this holes, that is minority, will be crossing the junction easily. And from p region, the minority like electrons will be constituting the current by passing through the barrier potential. Okay. So electrons are moving from here to here, and holes are moving from this way. Okay. So opposite to this electron movement, the current flow direction is there. So overall the current will be flowing in this way direction from n to p region. Okay, because of the minority carriers. Okay, current flowing will be taking place this region. So we can see, like, in case of forward bias, the current is flowing from p to n region, and similarly in case of reverse bias of the collector junction, the current is flowing in the same direction. Okay, so the overall, once we are going to combine, we will be getting the total current flow. Okay, so here depletion region has increased, so current will be because of minority charge carriers. Okay, so there will be minority charge carriers. So we have just uh, gone through the separate operation in reverse bias and forward bias case. So once we have gone through the separate operation, we will just combine these two operations. Okay, so once we will be combining these combining the both operations, we can get, like, the current flow will be here. So once we are going to combine, so this is forward bias and this is reverse bias. So the overall current will be flowing is because of the minority carriers as well as the majority carriers. So majority carriers current will be of high magnitude, and the minority carrier current will be of low magnitude. Okay, so that means it will be in this direction only. So overall current that we will be getting is combination of majority carriers as well as the minority carriers. So we can just note it, like, we can just note, like, after combining both reverse bias and forward bias diodes, large number of majority carriers large number of majority carriers will diffuse across forward bias, PN junction into N-type material. Okay, so here after we are combining the forward and reverse bias diodes, large number of majority carriers will diffuse across the forward bias PN junction into N-type material. Okay, so large number of majority carriers from the N region, large number of majority carriers from this P region should be moving to the N region. Okay, so here majority charge carriers are moving to the N region. Okay, so this movement of majority charge carriers is considered as minority. Uh, Majority charge carriers is moving from P region to the N region. So in N region, the holes will be in minority. So holes are moving from P to N region. So holes, these majority charge carriers are moving to N region. So in N region, these majority charge carriers are minority in nature. Okay, so we are in this forward bias diode case, we are moving majority charge carriers to N region, and this N in N region, this charge carrier is considered to be a minority charge. Okay, so we are basically moving the majority charge carriers, and in N region it is behaving like a minority charge carriers. So this process is basically considered called as minority carrier injection. Okay, so uh, here large number of majority charge carriers will diffuse across forward bias p-n junction into n-type material. Okay, so n-type material, it is moving as minority charge carriers. Okay, it is in n region, it is behaving like a minority charge carrier, minority carrier in n-type. Okay, so once it is moving to n-type, the holes have become the minority charge carrier. Okay, so this is called, that is called basically, that is called minority carrier injection. Okay, so this is called minority charge carriers, minority charge carrier injection. So as uh, diffusion of uh, large number of majority charge carriers taking place from p-type region to n-type region. So in n-type region, this uh, holes are behaving like minority charge. So basically this process is called minority charge carrier injection, minority carrier injection basically. Okay, so once we have injected the minority charge in n-type region, now the minority charge can easily pass in the reverse bias case. So in the reverse bias case we have seen, so here in n region, whatever minority charge carriers will be easily passing this reverse bias diode. Okay, so we have moved majority charge carriers from n region to p region to n region, and in n region it is like a minority carrier, and minority carrier can easily pass the junction in the reverse bias case. Okay, so this diode operation is basically divided into two parts. So one is diffusion of majority charge carrier from emitter side to base region, and in base region that majority charge carrier will be behaving like a minority charge carrier. So once it has reached as a minority charge carrier, then the minority charge carrier can easily pass the reverse bias collector junction. Okay, so this diode action is basically divided into two different part. Okay, so one is diffusion of majority charge carrier. Okay, and the next one is the majority charge carrier injection. The next step is basically, as the base region is very thin. Okay, so in base region majority charge carriers have injected because of minority carrier injection process. So whatever injected charge carriers are there, very less number of charge carriers will be combining with the available electrons into the n region. N region is very thin and it's having lightly doped, so very less number of charge holes that have come from p-type region will be combining with the n region. So it will be constituting very less base current. Okay, so less amount of recombination takes place in base region. So less amount of recombination will be taking place in base region. That means base current will be very less. Okay, so most of the charge carriers, that is minority in the base region, that will be moving to the collector region. Okay, so whatever holes holes in n-type region, or we can call it in the base region. So holes in the n-type region or in minority, okay, or minority carrier. So it will go to collector side. Okay, so this is basically because of the drift. Okay, why? Because we have in the reverse pass case we are applying the reverse pass voltage. So because of this the drift, it will be crossing this uh, barrier junction. Okay, so in case of reverse pass case, drift will be taking place. Okay, so here this drift will be such that holes from n region to p side will be going, and electrons from p to n side will be going. Okay, so this holes moving from n region to p region is called basically majority carrier injection. Okay, because this holes in the n region are minority, but once it is moving to p region, so here n region to p region holes are moving, so holes are as a majority charge carriers into this p region. So this process of moving holes from n region to p region because of drift is called majority carrier injection. So from p region to n region, holes will be going. Holes are basically here majority, so majority charge carriers will be going from here to here, and this is called minority carrier injection. Okay, so this is one of the process in the forward bias diode. Okay, in the reverse bias diode, here same holes, that will be a minority. So same hole or whatever charge carriers will be there here. So this whatever majority charge carrier was there, in this case here it will be minority charge carrier. So this minority charge carrier moving from n region to p region. In p region, it will be behaving like a majority charge carrier. So this process is called. So this process is called majority carrier injection. Okay, and this minority charge carrier is because of the diffusion, and this majority charge carrier is because of the drift. Okay, so there are two different uh, processes are there. Okay, so once we are going to combine the forward bias region and the reverse bias region, both will be constituting the transistor operation. Okay, so I think you have got the concept, like how the current flow takes place in BJT basically. Okay, so once we have transmitted the majority charge carriers from here to here, and then from this base region to collector region by the method of minority carrier injection and the majority carrier injection. Okay, so at this junction we know like some current will be emitter current and some collector current and some base current will be there. So it is given by like basically by KCL. At this particular node we can just identify like the emitter current will be equals to the collector current plus IB, that is collector current plus the base current. Okay, so once we have obtained this, so this emitter current will be in milliampere, and this collector current is also in milliampere, but this IB will be very less, you can say, and that will also be considered to be like a current that will be in a milliamperes only, but will be the very less only. Okay. So at the output terminal, we can just see at the output your IC, the IC current is there. That is because of one part, that is the majority part is because of the majority carriers. So IC will be because of the majority. Along with that, there will be a minority charge carrier. So this small or thin arrow is there. This thin arrow represents the IC minority. Okay. So overall, the output current that we will be getting is because of the majority charge carriers as well as the minority charge carriers. Okay. And this minority charge carrier is the current that is flowing when the diode was reverse bias because of the minority charge carriers. Okay. So this is nothing but the this IC minority is also called as ICO. Okay. So ICO is the leakage current. And this leakage current will be in microampere or in nanoamperes. Okay. So this ICO is the case when this ICO was flowing. Okay, we can just see. Okay, so here in this case, the current that we will be flowing is because of the majority. So in this case, the current that will be flowing is because of the minority. Okay, because of the minority. So this current that flow in because of the minority is, in case of diode, we have seen it as IS, that is saturation current, or we can call it like reverse saturation current. We define it reverse saturation current. So this reverse saturation current is because of the minority charge carriers. Okay. So in case of here, same, one majority charge carrier will be there. The another one is leakage current or the minority charge carrier. So that minority charge carrier will be nothing but similar to reverse saturation current only. That is IS. Okay. And it is named ICO. So ICO stands for collector current. IC collector current, collector current. This is ICO, that is collector current with emitter terminal open. So this ICO is the leakage current, and this leakage current is flowing when the output diode or the diode or the junction, that is the collector junction, is reverse bias. At that time, we have considered like the emitter terminal is open. Okay, so emitter junction is open circuited. At that time, whatever current will be flowing, that is ICO. So this ICO is IC current when the emitter terminal is open. Okay, so ICO is similar to the reverse saturation current, and this ICO will be depending on the temperature. So as it is because of the minority charge carriers, ICO will be depending on temperature variations. Okay, and we can just see this IS was doubling every 10-degree rise in temperature. Okay, so similar effect will be there in ICU also. So ICU will be depending on the temperature. That means for every 10-degree rise in temperature, it will be doubling. So it will be uh, the transistor should be designed such that it should be having a minimum dependence on ICU, or this ICU should be very less in case of the transistors that we are going to design. So here, this was the basic operation of transistor, basic BJT transistor, and in that case, we can just summarize it if possible. We can just see like we can. So we can just summarize the transistor operation like. Okay, so one of the method is like here we have forward bias and this is reverse bias. So in forward bias, uh, this diode is forward bias, then a majority carriers will be flowing. The current will be because of the majority. In reverse bias case, it will be the because of minority. So overall the current will be because of the majority current as well as the minority carrier current. Okay, so final current that we are going to get is the final current that we are going to get is IC majority plus IC minority. And also this input region is uh, need to be biased in forward region, and the output region, this is considered to be output region, output terminal. This is input region, we can call it. Okay, so this is the input region and this is the output region. So input region is forward bias and output region is reverse bias, and overall current that we will be flowing uh, will get the dependence on the majority as well as the minority. That's why it is called bipolar transistor. And this is like whatever current is there. So here output depends on the emitter current. Okay, so this BJT is considered as, first of all, it is going to get the output as a current. Okay, so it is output is current, that means it is a current source, and this output current is depending on the input current also. Okay, so this BJT is considered to be current dependent current source. Okay, current dependent current source. Okay, so current dependent current source, we can just write like BJT is going to work as a current source, and once we have obtained the current, we can get whatever voltage we are requiring based on the load we are going to connect to the this BJT output terminal. Okay, so this is all about the basic operation of BJT. Okay, so four different mode of operations are there: cutoff, active, saturation, and reverse active. And in that, the most of the efficient or most of the frequently used application of transistor is we are going to operate this transistor in as an amplifier. So in amplifier, we need to make the transistor to be operating in active region. So once we are going to bias the transistor such that the input region is biased as forward bias and output terminal is biased in reverse case, then the transistor will be operating in active mode, and in active mode we can get the uh, case like the amplification can be taken place, and in that case we will be getting the amplification as the current gain, because the input is also current and output is also current. So the current gain we will be finding out. So based on uh, whatever the configuration of the terminals are there, so like this is the emitter and this is the base and this is collector. So based on the uh, terminal, like this base region is common between the input terminal and the output terminal, okay, or the input region and output region. So whatever the terminal is common between the input and output, based on that we can configure this BJT in three different modes configurations. Basically, one is called common mode, common base, common emitter, and common collector. Okay, so in active mode, okay, so the transistor, this BJT, can be working in active mode based on three different configurations. Okay, so this is common base configuration, common emitter, and common collector. So we will next see in common base case how the transistor is going to be behaving like an active mode, and in common emitter and similar the common collector. Okay, so three different configurations of BJT is there based on the biasing of different terminals, and also what is the terminal that is common to input and output side. Based on that we will be configuring the different terminals of BJT, and we will operate that BJT in different mode of operations to one. So we will see the next how the BJT is going to work as an amplifier in three different modes of operation. Okay.